Hey everyone, it's your favorite niche artist content creator. Just a quick disclaimer before I start this video. No, my hair is not extremely greasy. I just got out of the shower. Just wanted to let you guys know. So why am I making this video? Well, there comes a time in every YouTuber's career when they have to post something controversial and it really makes them or breaks them. And so this video will kind of be my claim to fame because I think many people won't agree with me, although it is a very interesting topic. So I'm really open to any backlash. I just wanted to tell how I feel about it. And another reason why I'm making it is because any really, how do I define this? Any niche that can be defined by a beauty standard. So whether it's looks or art, architecture, really anything that has a metric of beauty, there tends to be people who are like coaches who like to tell you what to do. And I watch a lot of art YouTube. So many people will give you advice on how to sell more art, like, do this, make this website, add this to your social media, make these types of reels, but people really fail to address the kind of good art markets itself without needing any help. And the same goes for beautiful people. Now, I really don't want to make this video about looks and lookism or whatever, because the internet's full of that, and also I really want to kind of stay within the niche of art. However, I think an amazing leeway into my point is about looks. And the other day, a woman came up on my Instagram feed while I was scrolling, of course, my daily scroll, and she said something along the lines of she wanted to tell people how they're beautiful, and she said, like, take your favorite celebrity, anybody that comes to mind, and I bet you there's somebody that doesn't find them attractive. And I find that to be just complete, utter cope. One woman on Instagram keeps popping up. I think her name's like Valeria Maza or something, some Argentine model. She keeps popping up. I think she's like a metric of attractiveness. But that's beside the point. What I'm saying is that people like to cope in various ways, whether it's art or beauty or whatever, by giving you all this advice on everything except the actual problem. So in the example of art, if your art isn't selling, it's most likely not good art. Like, that's just the brutal reality of it. And I understand that with myself because my art is not where I want to be. Now, of course, I'm not saying that good marketing and good, strategizing on how you will sell your art won't help. But my point is that good art really is 90% of the work. And it's kind of a layup when you have good art, whether it's like a three-pointer from half court when your art is really horrible. Both can go in, but one is much easier to score. And so the same kind of goes with that woman talking about looks and celebrities. It brings me to the title of this video, which is that beauty isn't really subjective. Now, when she said that about celebrities, and there's always somebody that's going to find somebody not attractive or not beautiful, it's like I said, cope. Because let's take the example of Valeria, or let's take, frankly, in the context of art. I pulled up a favorite sculpture of mine, Il Disingano by Francesco Chiarolo. And so you can Google it. It's an amazing sculpture made from marble. And if you look closely, there's like these super intricate details of fishing nets and somebody being tied into the net. And it's just unbelievable. I'd really like to see it one day in person. But my point being, I highly doubt that anybody would have trouble selling sculptures if every one of their sculptures look like that. Or if you take, say, my favorite current artist, William Bouguereau, he never really had much trouble selling his art, despite all the controversy with academic realism in that time. And my point is that beauty at the extremes aren't subjective, they're objective. And what that means is that really we can look at beauty as a bell curve. And so A bell curve goes that at both ends of the bell curve, there's a very low kind of percent of subjectiveness. So in the case of, say, Valeria, that model or that sculpture, it is objectively beautiful. Now, there is something to be said about personality types and what you like as an individual, but I definitely think you'd have to be blind to say that that sculpture isn't at least good. Like, you can respect how it looks and how it was created, the composition, everything. And so, as beautiful things, like the most beautiful things, aren't really subjective and aren't for debate, so are the ugliest things. The more ugly something is, the more people will find it objectively ugly. And so, really, when you look at people and you say, oh, somebody likes my art, somebody doesn't like my art, or somebody finds me attractive, somebody doesn't find me attractive, you're really in the middle of the bell curve. And that's where subjectivity actually comes into play. But at both ends of the extremes, there isn't really much subjectivity. I don't think there's much to be said negative about Michelangelo. Maybe he should have made more artworks, but the things that he made for that time were absolutely impeccable. And the same can be said for every great artist, every great athlete. I hear people saying, like, when you hear these debates, oh, LeBron or Jordan, or Djokovic or Nadal, and it's like, it's so stupid to me, because why can't we just respect both of them? Like, why can't we just acknowledge that both of them are probably within the 0.0001% of athletes, and that they deserve both the recognition, and that who you prefer is a matter of taste, not who's objectively better. And so when you're at those extremes, people will always find a way to kind of, compare it, but you really already won the game if you're being compared to the greatest. And so I feel like with a lot of people's art, including mine, when people, say, oh, this is not going well, or this is not, or this is, it's kind of, meh, not really doing the best it could, it's really a skill issue at the end of the day, which is very brutal to hear from anybody, really, but it's objectively true. Subjectivity only exists when you're somewhere in the middle between being really good and really bad. I really wanted to have some kind of outro, and there really is no conclusion. It's that you have to understand where you are, and that whether it's looks, whether you're an athlete, whether you're a painter, whether you're a sculptor, I just definitively think that we have to understand that if our talents were good enough and if our hard work was good enough, it would have paid off. And so this is kind of really weird, because it kind of gives a message that, oh, you're not good enough, quit. No, I'm saying the opposite. I'm saying it's important to understand that, like, confidence is extremely important, and sometimes delusion can also take you far. But there's a difference between delusion and, say, me saying that, I can be objectively good at basketball. Like, that's probably never going to happen. And so I figured it's really important for people to hear this, because we will admit a lot of things, that we have to work on our business, that we have to work on this, on that. But a lot of the work is actually done doing a thing you hate. A lot of the work is the actual thing and not things around it. And people focus on those niche little things that you can fix without actually focusing on the main problem, which is their art, or whatever you're doing, your music or whatever. So yeah, like I said, I don't expect people to agree with me, but that's just what I think. And yeah, thank you for watching. I'll see you next time.